Would you like me to bring up your mother-in-law shots?
I mean, ideally. Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to the Fallout 2d20 one-shot brought to us by Kura, the man, the myth, the legend, who saved up 25,000 points for this, whatever the hell this is going to be. I don't even know. I've been hanging out with these four gentlemen for the last 30 minutes, and I'm scared. I'm nervous. I have trepidation inside me, but you know what? We're gonna see how this goes. And again, just big shout out to Kura for doing that, and also just a big shout out to these four of my friends that have agreed to go on this adventure. But enough out of me. We're gonna go over to the players. We're gonna have them introduce themselves, and we're gonna have some fun with Waterlogged in the Bayou. So take it away, players, and fill us in on who you are. Matthew, you're up first.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, I hope the stream.
I'm Matthew. That's all. No, did you want us to talk about our characters briefly?
Yeah, introduce yourself, introduce who you're playing, and we'll take it from there.
You have to clarify these things.
Absolutely.
You screwed this up completely.
I really have. All right, Kura,
Okay.
great session. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Goodbye. We'll do the giveaway soon, and we're done. There you go. Yeah.
Right. My name is Matthew. I'm playing Ivan the Seventh, who is a vault dweller from a defunct vault tech experiment that was focused on deprogramming communists. Therefore, they raised communists and then had another group attempting to deprogram them in typical vault tech fashion. He is focused on infiltration and, well, now that he's been properly brainwashed, killing communists.
Glorious. Professor Hack, listen.
Hello, I'm Professor Hex. Some of you may know me as a former curmudgeonly doctor on a stream that I don't think we're legally allowed to mention. But you may have seen that. I was in that. And that's how I met DeWolf here. And my life went downhill from there. But here I am again. And I am playing today a mountain of a man, Renoir Bouillabaisse, who is 120% concentrated Cajun. He is strength and endurance incarnate, and he is nigh unintelligible. So enjoy that. Good luck, closed caption software.
All right. To follow that up, I'm Blau, and I'm going to be playing a really, really brash gunslinger who does not know what fear is and thinks any problem can be solved by his one set of weapons, 44 revolvers.
Oh, beautiful.
And if that doesn't work, well, that's what he's got.
Then it wasn't meant to be dead. There it is.
Yes.
Then it
If
can't be
44s
killed.
can't make it bleed, it can't be killed.
And I'm Aaron. I'm also a former member of the aforementioned stream. That's where I met Professor Hex. And similarly, my life also hit the skids pretty hard after falling under the specter of Professor Hex and his dastardly influences. He's recently shaved off his long twirly mustache, but don't let that fool you. He is an evil man. But today I'm playing Dr. Hiram Lubbock, who is a genius Christian scientist who knows everything about everything because one book has all the answers that you need. And if that's not enough for you, then you can go to hell.
Which is
and
exactly
probably
where
will.
Yeah, probably will.
Go to heck. Excuse me.
And of course, everyone, I am Darewolf, the Game Master, or the Overseer, because we're playing Fallout 2d20. But thank you, gentlemen, for that wonderful intros. Those were fantastic. I'm excited to see all these characters in action. But to set the scene here for you, you all have been traveling for several weeks through the wasteland that is the former America's Texas, as well as the former Louisiana. You've come to a section of Louisiana known as simply the Bayou. Now, the Bayou obviously being a term for swamps and messy areas, but you've been sent here by the United Federation of God-Fearing Glorious Texas. And so you were tasked with finding this group of missing scientists that They sent the scientists, they didn't come back. Then they sent the first ranger group, they didn't come back. Then they sent the second ranger group, they didn't come back. Then they sent the third ranger group, they also didn't come back. They sent a fourth. They were like, hey, that guy's probably gonna come back. One of them did, but he ended up dying from radiation. Then they sent you guys. So you're like the D team, the F team, but they have faith. They have faith, just like Dr. Hiram, that you all will be the ones to find out what happened to this group of missing scientists who were sent to try and find this vault, this old Vault-Tec vault that happened to have, or supposedly had, a way to open the gateway to the heavens. That's all they know. You don't exactly know what that means, but open the gateway to the heavens, something that Dr. Hiram might be very interested in. But we open our scene with the four of you standing knee-deep in what feels like it might be like a thick bog, or you might even mention a bayou. And you can hear the buzzing and the hissing and the just overall like mosquitoes the size of baseballs that are hanging out around you. I'm gonna get a little bit of background noise for you, but I'd like y'all to take a quick moment simply to describe yourselves, describe your characters, what they look like, and then we're gonna kind of dive into this adventure. Matthew,
Red
you go
is
first. Or Red,
oh,
you
go ahead.
first. Please, no,
Go ahead.
whoever wants to.
Red is about 5'8", a little bit below average, maybe about average in the wasteland at this point. And he's got red hair, as you might guess, with a Yosemite Sam-esque mustache. He's wearing a duster that he's taken off about a half dozen times and then put back on because he doesn't want to be without it, but he also doesn't want to wear it in the gross bayou. He's been bitching for the last 6 miles about his cowboy boots not being thigh-high. And he's not very happy about his situation at the moment.
As you describe this scene, Red, I'm actually going to have you roll a quick survival check. So that should be with perception, because I want to see if you notice a particular buzzing insect coming towards the back of your neck.
Survival with perception?
Yeah,
How
I
do you
believe
roll a
So,
thing
or just a
with
survival
different
check,
skill?
excuse me, just a survival check. Go ahead and just roll that survival check. And that
I
is
don't think that did
0
it.
successes. So you are so focused on the, like, you can feel the thick swampy water. There's like it's almost like a thick stew. It's seeping into your boots. You could feel the leather of the boots starting to kind of peel back, and you don't notice that this giant mosquito about the size of a silver $1.50 lands on your shoulder, and by the time you feel it pierce you, you could see it fly off with about, I don't know, an ounce of your blood, and it's like fat and red, and it just flies off away from you.
Dadgummit.
What about Ivan? Let's hear from Ivan. What does Ivan look like?
So Ivan is about a 6 foot tall but slightly stooped individual. He is somewhat haggard in appearance. His features gaunt, although he has a rather awkwardly protruding nose, as if perhaps it's been broken and set improperly. What stands out is his armor that is largely this kind of almost pearlescent shining black, save for one arm that is just clad in like a leather wrap. He is noticeable because he is wearing 2 bandoliers of baseballs, and wading about in the water up to about his barrel is a rather large boxer next to him. And Ivan sort of leans down a little bit and just pats him on the head, and then goes back to surveying the scene.
Excellent. And as you are surveying the scene, Ivan, as you look up ahead, you see this large size, looks like a mosquito. It might actually have been a Cazadores. I can't exactly say that word right, but you watch as it flies off, and you see up ahead, if you look at the actual image we have on the screen, you look up ahead, and through the kind of the thick trees with their leaves hanging down, these sort of weeping willows in the middle of this swamp, you think you see what looks like a tiny little white and like brown looking shack. So it's got like a metal tin roof. The tin roof is kind of browned and redded as from years of rust and a little bit of decay. The wood itself, though, is perfectly spotless, just perfect white paint on the sides. And there's a little sign that's hanging on the side of it, slightly askew, that says, "Welcome to the Bayou." I'm just going to leave you with that for a moment, but that's what it says. And I'd like to hear from Renaud. What does Renaud look like?
That's insulting that you didn't pronounce my name correctly.
I'm terrible with names. Also, I don't respect you.
Do you know my name at all? Like
No.
me personally?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Well,
Job
Renoir
Jobson.
Bouillabaisse, close enough.
That's good.
Renoir Bouillabaisse is as I mentioned, a mountain of a man. He is 6'9", 400 pounds. He is barrel chested, moonshine gutted. He is clad in plaid, basically head to toe, and then on top of that are ratty overalls, and then on top of that have been crudely stitched heavy leather armor to various parts of his body. He has a long ZZ Top plus 20 years beard, and he is redder than a spanked ham's ass. He is chapped, and he's just sort of like, he is wading through the swamp, but given how tall he is, it probably only goes up to his waist. And he is, you can see that he's got a heavy incinerator strapped to his back, and he's carrying a curved ripper, and he's using that to sort of like idly swat at various bugs and overhang plants and such.
And as Renoir, excuse me, Renoir, do I have to roll my R? Am I saying it right? Don't correct me. It's fine. But as we watch Renoir, anyway, I digress.
No,
As we watch
no
him
respect.
cutting through, up in front of you, Renoir, you see what looks like the backsides of this kitty cat in front of me. No, but you see what you would look like. You see what looks like these like little spiked kind of you think they might be alligators or crocodiles or something, and you see their backs. You could see two sets of eyes peer up, and as they peer up at you, you see they both turn to each other, and then they slowly slip back down into the water and slide either towards you, maybe away. You're not sure, but I'm going to leave you with that. And last but certainly not least, I'd like to hear from Dr. Hiram.
It's actually Hiram.
That's what I said.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Dr. Hiram is a rakishly thin, kind of short man standing at about 5 feet 2 inches tall. He is gaunt, and his face has an almost flat quality, like almost as though like all of his features were just pushed inward, and he's got like basically if he tilted his head at a 90-degree angle, you could probably rest a board perfectly on it and it just wouldn't go off balance. He is a very talkative man who is fond of quoting scripture, and actually at Red's sort of outpouring of discomfort, will say, "Remember, Red, Romans chapter 5, verses 3-4. More than that, we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope."
Hiram, whoever wrote that's never been here.
Well, I'm sure it applies to wherever they were, and it certainly applies to us.
You ever seen a play? No, this place is awful.
I mean, I don't think you should say that. I mean, Renoir grew up around these parts.
Yeah, so yeah, been here around here somehow. Walking through, moving around, you get used to it. And then you're doing fine. You know what I'm saying?
Eloquent, as always.
That is quite right. Yes, I am reminded, Doctor, of a verse from Ecclesiastes 4. Though it is better than both is he who has not yet been, better than he who is alive, and he who is dead is one who has not yet been. Than to see all of this suffering and misery. This is a horrible place.
But the horrible places are exactly where we need to go.
Well, I agree with you there, Ivan. Does anyone speak their own words around here aside from our mountain of a man here? Because no one's written that down before.
How would you know?
You've ever read a book?
And there's a pause where he holds up his hand,
Go ahead.
and a gnarly fart rips through the swamp water and creates this massive bubble. It splats open, and it is a horrendous stench. And it lingers just a little bit longer. And Renoir says,
How are you gonna bury out on that thing? I saw you.
How did you make it worse?
I never thought of it that way before, but you're right.
This is good proof that everything can always grow worse.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's gonna go, yeah, we gotta say, you know, not fair.
Red makes tracks to get away to get away from all of this.
I'm gonna have you make an endurance check to see how quickly you can move away from this, Red. You're gonna need the difficulty of 2 to get away from this smell in time.
How does one roll adjust endurance?
You're just gonna click the endurance. It'll or the survival check. Excuse me, survival check.
Oh,
Forgive
survival,
me.
okay.
Yep. Oh my god.
Difficulty of what?
Difficulty of 2. That was only 1 success, unfortunately. So as Red does his best to trudge through the water, you hear the sloshing, the pushing, but your right boot gets caught in what feels like just some thick mud underneath the water there, the base of this riverbed, this little bayou you're moving through, and your foot starts to come up. You almost lose your boot. You stop, and as you stop, like this creeping gas like cloud behind you, it wraps around your head up into your nostrils, and you can describe how Red reacts.
Almost pitches forward, goes, "Dag it!"
Now you see, Red. You see, your impatience has made it worse. Remember Romans chapter 12, verse 12. Rejoice in hope, be patient in tribulation, be constant in prayer.
Tell me about one more damn Roman.
As you all continue to press forward through the thick water, this dense, soupy, mucky water, you proceed forward and forward. And I'm curious, where exactly would you all be heading? The only real landmark that you have in front of you is this white building with the little sign that says "Welcome to the Bayou" on it. But there's no other real landmarks. It's just swamp water and these thick trees that are kind of hanging over. Some of them appear to have like little spiky vines kind of creeping, and they even reach up and almost kind of grab out and try to tickle you a little bit, but it seems mostly harmless. We're not exactly sure, but where would you all like to go?
I mean, Red was certainly tripping towards that shack, because if it's freshly painted, that means someone's around here painting it.
Possibly. Makes sense. Everyone in agreement? Perfect. So as you continue to trudge forward, you move, you hear the sloshing, that kind of like just absent ambient noise of the swamp. You can hear these little crickets and the buzzing of flies and large insects that suck blood. But as you get closer and closer, I'd like everyone to go ahead, and I'm going to have you make a quick check here. And I'd like you all to make a quick, let's make it another endurance check. I want to see if you guys notice this. So you're going to roll that endurance check for us. Everyone, it's a difficulty 1 for everybody. I'd like to see if we can gain some, a little bit of AP for you guys here. That's a no on Ivan. Oh boy. That's 1. There's 1. That's good. Doc's going to notice it. And we got 2. That's 1 AP, so somebody can keep track of the AP. That's 1 AP for you guys. And then, did we get Red in there? Red got 0. Okay, so you get 1 AP off that. But, Professor X, Renoir, I'm just going to call you Rennie. Rennie, all right, Mr. Ren, that's fine. You notice at first there is this trembling kind of ripple through the water, as though the ground itself is starting to shake, as though there is perhaps an earthquake. And up in front of you, right on either side of this white building, you can see this bubbling water starting to come up, as though there's like pumps pushing the water up, and these kind of fountains are starting to rise. And you can see these metal poles starting to rise up and out of the ground, and there's this rumbling, and the trees start shaking, and you hear these like birds or some sort of avians fly off in the distance. Meow, meow. It's weird. They're like catbirds, and they fly off into the distance. And as this rumbling noise happens, you start to hear this music in the distance. But I want to give you all a moment to react to that as well.
Red, sensing something not being the same as it was before, draws his guns immediately.
Okay, very good. Any other actions?
That's your
He's
answer.
done-
It's your answer to everything.
Yeah, he has done this several times on the road to in any kind of
You
change in the
woke
status
up.
quo.
You woke up and the fire cracked last night, and the first thing you did, I've never seen a man rise from a bedroll with 2 guns in his hands.
Well, I didn't have my third on me.
I don't want to know how you draw a third gun. Please keep that to yourself. I don't think
Well, hold on now. As sounds swamp moving on the mountain, flower or something. You might as well. Huh?
well, I don't know that it's dangerous per se, but it certainly seems to be where we're going.
Now, what do you want? I live or something like that. So I got some my Bible this and Bible that. You don't want something out here. Well, a small swamp. You're moving over and you guys are coming down and see. You're rifle a gator. You're Bible somewhere.
Well, why don't you lead the way then if you're so smart?
Well, I want here.
And Renoir will start, like, despite the chaos around him in nature, will just trudge forward, ripper in hand, just moving forward, kind of a hefty jog, we'll say.
Okay. And as he begins to move forward with this this hefty jog, he's trudging through the water. It's even for him and his massive mountain of a man-ness that he is. He's trudging, he's pushing, you can see him pushing through, and you watch as these 2 metal, they look like almost flagpoles, and they're extending out. It's like a click, and then the next section click, the next section click, and it's on either equal sides of this white building. And then this kind of cord that looks like it has maybe a banner or something wrapped around it starts to extend across the side, and you see these 2 massive, and it's about 30 feet up in the sky, up into the air, and then it clicks, and you all start to hear this music start playing. I'm going to play it for you now. Oops.
Oh.
And as this happy, upbeat, almost disco music starts playing, you all watch as stepping out from inside of this white little house is a tiny little Projectron robot that's kind of doing a little boogie, a little jazz thing with its little oscillating arms like this.
That's a common fault in their logic programming. I can fix that if we can get close to it.
And as the music stops, the flag spins down, and you see a massive, massive banner that says "Welcome to the Bayou." And the robot himself starts to just slowly maneuver his way towards you. And he says, "Well, howdy, y'all. My name's Bingo, the robot tour guide. Welcome to the Bayou. If you look to your left, you'll see swamp. If you look to your right, more swamp. If you look straight ahead, even more swamp. You guessed it. Now behind you, that's a giant armored murloc sent from the depths to kill you. Roll for initiative, and we're going to drop into combat as a giant armored murloc rises up and out of the water and begins to maneuver towards you, looking angry and rather evil. And I'm going to get everybody in there. Yep, everyone should be appearing up on the initiative there. Let me get a little bit of battle music here for you. And,
It's supposed to be a fixed number?
It is a fixed number. That is
All right.
correct. Yes. Yes. So rising up.
I'm not up there. I'm not not in the order.
The water. I will go ahead and get you up there at turn. Boom.
Well, why don't you just pray harder?
That's a good idea.
All right. So rising up and out of the water behind you is this massive, horrible, 2-story tall, what looks like a crustacean. And you would all recognize this from your survival training. This is a Mirelurk queen, and it looks ready to gobble you up. And it's covered in this kind of green, swampy-looking mire and muck. And now with the Fallout system, It takes place in like zones. There's close, where you're in the same zone, you're right next to them. There's that kind of medium range, and there's long range. This thing at this moment is at the far end of long range. So it's going to take it a couple of actions to get close to you. But as this is all going on, you watch as the Protectron robot reaches behind it and takes out a camera, looks like one of those little Kodaks, and snaps a photo of the four of you turning to face it, and then takes it and starts shaking it.
Excuse me,
Yes?
robot.
Brett?
Are you not a Protectron?
No, I'm a tour guide! Good luck, everybody! And then he walks back into the White House, closing the door, and you hear a click, 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 clang, clang, click, click, and like a bolt sliding.
Ah,
I do not feel very welcome in Bayou.
All right, and let me get this this Mirelurk Queen up in there as well. And their initiative happens to be an 18. All right, so the Mirelurk Queen is going to go first. And as the Mirelurk Queen is going to take its minor and major action, it's just going to move forward. It's going to go from the long, and you watch as it just more kind of swims, but also hits some dry land, and then boom, 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 moves through and rushes forward. If anyone has a quick moment to go ahead and report that stupid bot that's in the chat, I would appreciate it. But it rushes forward and gets to medium range. But next up is going to be Texas Red.
Red is going to start shooting if he can. I don't know what the range the pistols have. It's not listed on the thing.
So the pistols, I believe, would be considered close or medium. I mean, those are 44s, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so let me double check here. I think that is a 44, maybe? Let's see here. We got... I'm going to say those are at least medium range. So you can shoot without taking any minuses on that on those pistols. So if you want to take a couple pot shots at this giant abomination, you are welcome to do so.
All right, and the fire rate is 2, and I have 2 of them. What does that mean? I can fire both once, yeah?
Correct.
All right.
Ooh, that is a wow. Okay, so your first pistol, you are going to get a hit. However, you do roll a complication, so I'm going to say that one of your pistols jams. So you're going to have to take a minor action to clear it at some point. But that second one is a solid hit, and that is also going to generate you 3 additional AP, whoever is keeping track of the AP. So you've got, I believe, by my count, 4 AP right now.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and you can roll damage on both of those, Red, as you bring both guns to bear. There's these loud, deafening...
excuse me.
pows as both of them go off, and it ripples across the water, and you can hear more catbirds flying off in the distance. And from inside, you hear the robot. Oh boy, here they go! And so that's 7 physical damage on the first.
And they are vicious. I forgot what that means.
So that means it deals an extra 2 damage for every time you roll a 2. So that is actually going to be 5.
1 damage.
It's 1 damage? Thank you.
Yeah, it's 1.
Damage. So it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That is 11 damage. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Plus that is 18 damage. So as both pistols, the one in your left hand jams up, and you can watch as the barrel kind of like, as it's spinning, the revolver, it kind of gets stuck halfway between going to the next chamber. But both rounds rip into the Mirelurk Queen, tearing off huge chunks of its carapace and its like thick hide, etc. And you watch as it goes, growls and snarls, but continues to move towards you with hungry and murderous intent. Did you want to do anything with your minor action?
Yeah, I'll clear that pistol. I'll snap it open, spin it, and snap it back closed.
I love it. Doctor, you're up next.
All right. Yeah.
I'll go. Oh, sorry. Wrong doctor. I'm sorry.
Jesus, here he goes again. My God. Jesus, God save me, please.
I will sue you. Don't start.
Right. So yes, Dr. Hiram will produce a Gauss rifle from his back. It's strapped to his back, and will take careful aim, squeezing the triggers as you hear a faint sort of whoop, and a small miniature sonic boom as this metal disc is fired through magnetic induction. at this Mirelurk. So we're going to go ahead and shoot it. So we're going to use small guns. All right.
Wow. Jesus Christ. You guys are capped on AP now, and I believe you have a couple of floating AP, which there's not much you can do with that.
I can use that actually.
You could use that. All right, go for it.
Yeah.
Talk to me,
So
talk to me.
if we've got how many? I think we got 2 floating AP right now.
Yeah, you would be max, so you'd be at 4, and then you'd have 2 floating AP. That is correct.
So I'm going to spend those 2 floating AP to activate a perk that that Dr. Hiram has,
Okay.
and that is Quick Hands.
Oh boy.
Boy. And with that, I can reload this Gauss rifle faster and increase its rate of fire by 1
Oh lord.
per round. So we're gonna give it and just lightning quick slaps another metal disc
Okay.
in here,
Okay.
and
Holy shnikes. You now have 4 floating AP.
there's really nothing I can do with that. But
All right.
so let's go ahead and
damage.
roll some damage. So this
Yeah.
is going
You
to be
can spend
interesting.
the AP to add additional damage, though, right?
You can.
That is true.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the rate?
It's
Does
one.
anybody remember?
One
One per.
One for one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You can add up to 3.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're gonna add 3.
Okay.
So.
Oh my god. Piercing 1, so it's going to go through its armor. So 4 piercing on its armor. Holy crap. This thing, you know what? I thought, hey, this is going to be a great fight. It won't be a long session. I can just kill them really fast. And here we are. Here we are just watching them, you guys just kill everybody. So we watch as these metal discs fly out, and this giant Mirelurk queen, it's got all of these little kind of like grasping claws. There's just maybe a dozen of them on the front, and it's kind of half running on all 12, half swimming through the water when it hits the swamp. And you watch as multiple limbs and a small part of its midsection, kind of down near where it's if it had kidneys, which it probably does, but down where its kidneys would be, and you watch as a huge section of that is ripped off from it, and it just looks angrier. Though you'd think at this point, after 2 shots from Red, 2 shots from the Doctor, it would
so
be
that's only
dead.
that's
It looks
only one.
angry.
That's one damage roll from my Gauss rifle. So
Go
here's the
for
other
it.
one.
Yeah, do it again. And then you watch as it strikes the same kind of section, and as it strikes that midsection down kind of on the lower gut-like area, you watch as you start to kind of see the inside, and it looks like it's like the inside of this maybe egg sac of some kind, and you watch as all of these tiny purple greenish looking eggs start to spill out of its gut into the water. And as they hit the water, you watch as there's maybe 6 or 7 of them that fall out, and you can see these little tiny little Mirelurks inside them starting to kind of writhe and move around as well. And one of the sacs bursts, one of the little eggs bursts as well.
Well, I haven't moved yet, so I think with that, Dr. Hiram is just going to look and go, huh, and he will begin moving back towards the locked door of the building.
As you hit the wooden walkways, these kind of board walks, and you hear that tunk 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 as you're running across the board from inside of this white shack, you hear the Protectron robot say, "No entry without a ticket!" And you hear another bolt slide as the door is locked even more than it was before.
So tell me if I can tell just by looking at it, are these mechanical locks?
Absolutely not. They're just physical locks, like they would slide shut. No, you say mechanical, do you mean like...
Yeah. I mean like actual like lock pick
Oh
locks,
yeah, absolutely.
mechanical,
You can pick them. Absolutely. Yeah.
dead bolted.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm gonna and yeah, that's all for me.
All right.
Okay.
Perfect.
It's interesting.
Ivan.
Oh, can I? Point of order.
Yeah.
Karkura was right. The extra damage only applies to melee and thrown attacks.
Oh, you're right.
Can't
That
use
is
it on
true.
range,
That
so.
is true, Kura. Thank you. Thank you. You're absolutely right. We're gonna let it slide because YOLO, and we're just gonna go with it.
Oh yeah.
And also, this thing has plenty of HP left, so we'll be fine.
Hooray.
But next up
So,
is Ivan. Go ahead, please.
So Ivan is actually going to reach behind his back and pull out another EM Gauss rifle, and he is briefly going to look down at his dog, the sodden, wet, sort of brindle boxer that's been following around, and just gesture over towards the shack. Sonny, go. And Sonny starts running off in that direction.
Sonny is doggy paddling through the water, just a little head up there, his little floppy ears. And as Sonny gets about halfway, you see Sonny dip under the water as though something pulled him, but then he comes back up and just keeps doggy paddling.
Ivan, I really appreciate it, but I'm not hungry.
I don't want Sonny near that thing. What's wrong with you?
As Sonny barks, Ivan, you're going to hear this. You hear another dog respond from somewhere far behind the white shack. You hear this, and you hear Sonny go, and you hear another dog go.
We have made friends. This is lovely. And I'm just going to aim at the Mirelurk's head and take a shot at the.
Now, I do want to let you know, aiming at the Mirelurk's head is a difficulty of 2. It does increase the difficulty.
Not with the sniper perk.
Fair enough.
So.
Gotcha.
And I'll say yes. I'll spend 1 AP to get an extra die.
Oh, bold choice. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. Okay, I need to throw multiple Mirelurk Queens at you. That's fair. That's totally fine. All right, roll some damage as you probably headshot this thing. Wow. Vicious night vision. Okay, so it's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 damage to the head. Does cause a serious injury. It is currently going to be stunned as you watch as you fire this Gauss rifle at its head, and the head is this tiny little kind of shielded little maw. I mean, for its massive frame, the thing being like 2 stories tall, its head is like the size of is one of your heads, and it's all there. But you take your shot, you line up, and kablam! And you watch as half of its face is just eviscerated. You can see this plume of greenish blood come out from the back of it, and it stumbles to the side, and you think it's gonna go down. You think you probably killed it, and then it slowly starts to push itself back up, and then from behind it you hear this chorus of additional Mirelurks, and you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, a dozen of them rise up out of the water to try and protect their queen and start to rush towards you. But they're ways off. They're probably good maybe 2 or 3 rounds, to use game terms off, but they're starting to move towards Mom because they hear Mom go growling angrily and in pain. But anything else you'd like to do, Ivan?
I think he's just going to move back.
And next up, Rennie.
Okay, so Rennie will see that the Mirelurk Queen is looking pretty bad, and he will raise his curved ripper like Braveheart, and he will rush as fast as possible through the murky waters, just screaming, and he is going to get as close as he can to the Mirelurk. He's going to draw within melee range distance.
Perfect.
Right?
Perfect. So rushing through the water, and since he's so tall, Rennie can just run at almost full speed. It's like he's almost like he's like Dr. Hiram. Dr. Hiram. If you didn't know him better, it would look like he's walking on water. I mean, maybe it's a message from God. I don't know. But he is running through the water, almost on top of it, and he gets right up under its gut. The creature, this giant Mirelurk Queen, is on its side almost, trying to push itself up. It's clawing at Rennie ineffectually, and then Rennie obviously can make his attack as well.
All right, here we go.
That is a hit. Absolutely.
Very good. All right. So what I'm going to do, going to roll damage here.
Oh my god.
Oh my.
So I'd like Rennie to describe how he murders this queen. I'd like you to describe to us, please, how you murdered this queen.
So the Ripper, he takes it, sort of flips it around in his hand, with a surprising amount of dexterity for a man with such fat hands. And he drives it into the neck of this Mirelurk Queen and just begins sawing around it, basically manually
Blood and guts.
decapitating this thing. Yeah. And then when it's done, he sticks his other hand just directly into it in the throat hole, so to speak, and raises it up. Ah! Instead of throwing it around like a puppet. Ah!
Oh my stars. And as the Mirelurk Queen lets out a final roar of pain and death, its death throes, and it's writhing around the body as you hold this head up like some sort of grotesque trophy ready and just present it to both the other Mirelurks as well as to your accomplices, as it were, and holding it up. You spin towards the Mirelurks and you see they're these, almost like Brahmin size, crustacean, these giant crabs, and they're moving towards you. They see you hold up this head, and you watch as the lead one throws out its claws wide. The others behind it stop. And then it looks to its left at the one that's just coming up to flank it. And it looks like its little mandibles, like they're having a conversation. And then the other one on the left kind of nods up and down. And they both all turn around and go back into the swamp and disappear under the water, likely realizing that they don't want to mess with whatever this creature is, referencing Rennie. But we pivot back to the rest of you. The silence and that kind of ambient noise of the swamp once again falls over, and the battle is completed. So what do you guys do?
I think Dr. Hiram's going to call through the door. The Mirelurks are dead. Does that count as a ticket?
Well, it could be. What's the proof you got that they're dead?
Well, if you just open the door, you can see that it's dead. It's my friend, well, really more of a work acquaintance. He's holding up its severed head as we speak.
Well, how can I be sure you're not the Mirelurk? Maybe they've learned how to speak, and you're trying to trick me.
Can I overhear this?
Oh,
by the way?
absolutely, absolutely, yeah. All of
Okay.
you can hear this.
Is that, I imagine I'm on the side of this house here, this little shack. Is there like a window anywhere nearby?
Absolutely, there's actually an open window that you could very easily get into. Yeah.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to gesture towards my my compatriots here.
Yeah? Well, yeah.
And I just like fastball chuck it through the window.
And as you fastball chuck it, you hear this clang, clang, squish, squish noise. And you hear the robot from inside go, "Oh, tarnations! They've learned to fly!" And then you hear the bolts all start to unlock and undo themselves. And then the door flies open and the Protectron waddling out like some sort of terrified toddler just comes like rushing forward and actually bumps in to the good doctor. And, oh, you gotta save me! They're gonna whoop me! Oh, man, they're gonna get me! Oh, hello, welcome to the tour.
I think your vocoder is set to 19th century prospect.
It's really funny, Aaron. I need a moment.
I can fix that. If you want to actually sound like you're from the Bayou, I can help you with that. Because
I'm
right
not
now
sure
you tell you,
my vocal processor could do that.
well, we all have limitations.
Damn right we do. But not me. I'm Bubsy, the tour guide. Would you like a tour of the swamp? Where would you like to go first? There's so many options. And with that, there's this little light that kind of like this little box area that opens up, and this little projector. He turns to the white building, and you now realize what the purpose of this beautifully, freshly painted white side of this building is. It's to act as kind of projector screen, and it's a little light because the sun, although there's always that kind of yellowish haze above from the ambient radiation in the wasteland. But you watch as this map is projected onto the screen in front of you. I'm actually going to pull you guys over to a brand new map of the particular bayou. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark on this map where you all are located. And you're actually coming in from the kind of northeast side of this map, so where there's that kind of thick looking swampy area. That's where you all are located. I'm going to go ahead and mark just a little green X, and that's where you guys are. And he presents you with all of these different options of where you can go. And you've got like this prison you can go visit. You've got there's like a wood mill. He highly suggests one of the farms. There's a bunch of mutated goats there that are likely grazing at this time of day. There's some also mutated seals that have found their way into the bayou. There's also the alligator farm where one of the alligator farmers lives, a super mutant. He mentions one of his best friends named Cesar. Benoit, and he says that could be a lot of fun, and he just goes on and on about all these different options of where you can go.
Renoir will push past the bot to go inside the house, and he'll pop a squat next to the Mirelurk head and begin harvesting it and eating it like you would a crab dinner at the Red Lobster.
I love it. I love it. Inside of this shack, Rennie, you would see that there are stacks and stacks and piles. I'm talking floor to ceiling. There's just enough room, like there's little pathways that are just wide enough for a Protectron to get through, of Bayou tour tickets and pamphlets. So there's all these little like informational pamphlets about the Bayou, and they're perfectly stacked together in pristine condition, like they've just been freshly printed. The ink on some of them is still wet, but as you squat down, you start eating this Mirelurk Queen's head. What an image!
He'll grab one of those pamphlets nearby and use it as a napkin to dab his face.
A little bit of ink. This green and blue ink is smeared on your face. You wouldn't notice it, but anyone else that sees you would see it. But yeah, it's good. It's good.
Or
Really
pain.
good, by the way.
Oh, that's good eating right there.
No, I'm not that hungry.
Are you on there? Yeah. You know?
Normally, I prefer it cooked.
Oh, I'm on here. I'm gonna have a cook. I'm go down blue shell.
Now that's not fair. I'm not a member of the bourgeoisie.
What?
Huh?
What's wrong, Ivan?
Your reference to wow, that went to French, not Russian. Okay.
It sounds like your vocoder is set to French chef. I can help with that. I'm a doctor.
No, I understand this. It's is effective conditioning. I go from southern accents sometimes, and it just affects me when I start being affected by that Americana in the left side of the vault where all the Sams, the Uncle Sams lived, and then on the other side of vault there were all the Ivans. And then sometimes that takes over because there was brainwashing there as well. But it's very complicated and psychologically disturbing, which is why I have emotional support dog, Sunny.
Right.
Just
Right.
reaches down and pets the dog.
But anyway,
Yes, I do not know what I was saying because
I think you heard me say the word bourgeoisie and
that triggered conditioning. Yes.
yes. We have that means a different thing in these parts. It does not mean the capitalists who own the means of production. Just means fancy folk.
Nonetheless, in this reference, I am concerned that you may be introducing class conflict into discussion. We are all one country, one nice melting pot.
I mean, this
One
country
nation
is
under God, Hiram.
That is correct.
That's finally. I'm finally getting through to him. I'm finally getting through to him. Well, it's not a nation so much as a giant nuclear midden heap under God, and that's something.
There seems to be distinction without difference.
I'll show you one more, yeah? Huh?
Yeah, I think I will have
Yes.
some. Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm going to jambalaya.
I don't think we can have jambalaya without ground Brahmin sausage, can we?
Oh, I'm a big ass shit. I don't know all the dishes. I'm gonna make you flip up and I'll make something up for you. And you come over here. You told me I'm gonna catch your mouth. You tell me how to put down some jambalaya. I said, well, fuck you.
I didn't. I didn't mean to overstep my bounds. I apologize profusely. Please Allow me to partake. You are a wonderful cook.
Why are you? Well, I'm going to tell you about that.
I don't now. Just before we sit down and break. Well, I was going to say break bread, but break my alert together. I just need to know we're not cross, are we?
Oh, well, yeah, all right. So we
All right.
I just,
that's very sporting of you. Very sporting indeed. All right.
Are you laughing? I will kill you. You know what I'm saying? One more.
That's
One more.
I would just say that is tough but fair.
Come on, over here. Some of y'all.
I think Ivan is actually going to go over the Vectron now, if that's all right. And you, all of this, these places we can go. Have others like us been here? Maybe less well-equipped, inferior versions of this group?
Well, no, there are plenty other versions of you. They had much better weapons, better looking, better smelling too. I've got the Smellotron right here. And another little thing opens, and you feel this like little gust of wind come in, and he goes, "You all smell terrible."
You're a very strange little machine, and I want the doctor to disassemble you, but we don't have time for that.
I get that a lot.
I did not understand that because of your accent.
I get that a lot.
Yes, so do I. I empathize.
I get that lot. What were you saying? Would you like a tour?
Perhaps we can change his vocoder to something at least more palatable. Maybe French Revolutionary.
They were secularists.
Oh,
this is
correct. I hate them.
Why would you suggest this? This speaks to deep psychological conflict.
Well, Ivan, when your accent sort of slipped there for a moment, you sounded like a French revolutionary, which maybe is why it was in my mind.
Yes, well, this was because in Volt, Ivans ate French fries, whereas on American side of
That's
Volt,
freedom
they had
fries.
freedom, exactly. They had freedom fries. We had the French fries. So sometimes the French mixes with the Russian.
Did you at least have Liberty cabbage?
I have not heard of this. No.
What about
You want some? You all right?
We should come up with a name for this. Is there some kind of Americanization of
I think I
Mildok?
will. I think I'm gonna be talking to the robot. The robot. Come over there and start picking out of the head with his friend.
Oh, no, I don't. No, yeah, yes, you put out. Yes, you want that.
He'll avoid picking the part of the head that he was picking a different part of the head.
Yeah, I was
attempting to
gonna-
interpret.
I'm sorry, my mouth could not properly interpret.
Oh, so what's that? Yeah, my much, yeah.
And he'll get up, he'll walk over to the Protectron, and just smack it on the head.
And the Protectron starts kind of buzzing and twirling, and you hear it go through a multitude of different accents. You hear a German accent, you hear a Southern Louisiana accent, you hear a French accent, you hear all of these different from all over the world. I'm talking 88 different type of countries in the middle of like in 6 seconds, like all of these things, and it finally settles in on, well, that wasn't very nice.
Well, I don't want to.
Can one of y'all open it up and see where it took other people?
I mean, I would be happy to. Robot, as your human master, please submit yourself for disassembly.
The robot takes a noticeable step back from you.
I am a child of God. You are a creation of man. Therefore, I am not only the objective authority over you, I am the moral authority and the spiritual authority. Now, do as I say, deactivate yourself and submit to disassembly. and analysis and potentially reassembly if I have time.
All of the lights on the projectron go red, so it's got this kind of yellowish glow. It's all these different little lights. Even the camera lens on its left side that's projecting this map onto the side of this white building, everything goes red.
I believe he's been infected with the disease of communism.
And this dark, kind of ominous voice comes out. Where you are going, there is no God. You, my friend, have entered the hell that is the Bayou. Welcome to die. And well, that was weird. And then it takes a couple steps forward and presents itself to be opened up.
All right. Well, I'll need some time to work.
You think that was it or something talking through it?
Are you suggesting it is possessed by a demon? That seems to be the doctor's purview.
Oh, no, somebody said anything about them. No, I don't come in here, so you're going to get Satan. No, sir.
Ivan, that dog bark that you heard earlier, and you look down at your own dog, and it's been constantly looking kind of towards this southwestern area, and just through the thick of the trees you can make out this wooden building that looks like an old dilapidated sawmill, and you hear this. It's kind of high-pitched, sounds like a smaller dog with this high-pitched bark, and then your own dog responds as though they're talking to one another, and then it stops, and then your dog looks at you with this kind of expecting eyes, like it wants to go, but it's you're its master. It's not leaving. You told it to stay.
I know, son of a bitch. It is a concern of yours. We will check up on it. Okay, just give me a minute. Good boy. Why do you look at me with those eyes? That's.
So yeah, so Game Master, I would love to use my multi-tool to perhaps make a repair check on this robot to see if I can glean some useful information from its innards.
Absolutely. Difficulty on this is going to be a 3. As you start to open, I'm going to explain to you why. As you start to open up this robot, you realize that it has been heavily tampered with. You've dealt with your fair share of protectrons, and as you start to take off that first panel, you see that obviously it's been modified. It has this projector, it has the smellotron, it's got all these modifications, but as you tear open the first chest plate to kind of look at its insides, you see a lot of wires and equipment and insides that shouldn't be there. They look foreign. They look communist. Lots of red wires inside of it. Lots and lots of red wires.
So that's disconcerting. So is it a difficulty 3 before my multi-tool lowers the difficulty by 1?
Exactly. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the multi-tool makes it a difficulty 2?
That is correct. You got it.
All right. Okay. All right. Sorry. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to spend an action point to is that, I can't remember. Is that a thing I can do? I can spend an action point to buy an additional die, sort of the same vein.
2d20, just like you would in Star Trek.
Good.
Yep.
Good.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. I'm only going to buy 1. But yeah, this is
4 successes. You would get 2 additional AP back. It means it gives you a floating AP if you want to use it for something. If you have anything you can do.
Yeah, I'm going to use that to make a narrative declaration that I'm going to fix its vocoder to be, let's say, just a regular Midwestern American.
Oh no, you had a perfect opportunity to go like Jamaican.
I'm not
you want to see me do a
him.
Jamaican man? It's not great. It's going to be
I'm
bad.
not going to do that to him.
Don't do that to me.
I'm going to do it like Midwestern, just standard Midwestern American.
Yeah. Goes, well, hey guys, how's it going? Did you still want that tour?
Terrible, but vastly preferable to Prospector Jenkins.
Now,
That is a poor facsimile.
As you are mucking around in its insides, you are going to
Don't need this. Don't need this. Don't know what that is. Pretty sure you don't need that.
As you take that, you don't know what that is, out and toss it behind you, it occurs to you as it flies past the right side of your head that was a short-range transmitter. Likely
Oh,
a transmitter that would be used to control the robot from a short range, likely within
oh.
a mile or so, a kilometer.
Ooh.
But definitely something that someone could use to interact and control this machine.
I'm sorry. Red, can you grab that chip for me? I think you were right.
You threw 6 or 7 of them. Which one do you need?
All right. It's the one that looks like a.
It has a hammer and sickle on it.
It's the communist one with the hammer and sickle stamped on it.
Oh, yeah. Brings it over to him.
Now, Red, you're gonna have to make a very important D100 roll because I find it funny, and I need you to tell me high or low.
Low always, forever.
Damn it!
As you go to find it, you find one that's got a Louisiana flag on it. You find one that has a Michigan flag on it for some reason. You find another one that has an American flag, but it's missing 4 stars. That's weird. You find another one that has a flag that's just a raccoon jumping out of a trash can, and then you can't find the last one that had the hammer and sickle on it.
Well, I got a couple of state flags, an old trash panda.
Oh, the trash panda's close enough.
Oh, flag in a jersey. Right. Of course.
I think this Protectron has complicated motivations.
You're saying that you cannot find the one that he's actually looking for.
No, if he's got the raccoon one, I can work.
I am very concerned about this. And you see that Ivan's hand is just sort of reaching a little bit towards his gun as he starts twitching. Your name, Red. This is distressing to me.
Yeah?
Yes.
Well, your name is Ivan. That's distressing to me.
That is a good point. I do not have an answer to that.
I shall walk out because, yeah, that's just I'm a bit. Huh?
You're right. We cannot let this tear us apart. That's not American.
That's not what he said.
That's absolutely what he said. What did he say then?
Please, if you'd like to take a look for it, Remy, by all means, you are the most perceptive and intelligent of us all.
I know.
And he will he'll just stomp over in this pile of electronics and just
Roll me a D100, Professor Hex, Red.
Yeah.
And tell me high or low.
low.
Fantastic. As Ren starts mucking through the swamp, it's like you're like a bloodhound. Ren, you're like a bloodhound. You literally go exactly to there's this little dock, this little walkway, slightly rotten boards, and just off the left, hidden in a little bit of tall little like swampy grass. You see it. It's right there. It's so easy. How did they not notice it? You find that little communist ship.
What's that right here? What's that? Oh, Bengal. Oh, yeah, it's right here.
And he'll chuck
Once-
it back into the house.
Once again, I stand in awe.
Well, yeah, well, you.
Right. Well, this chip was used to control this Protectron. It's a short-range transceiver. So, Ivan, there may be communists about.
At the mention of communists, from somewhere towards the southwest, you hear the Russian national anthem start playing.
Well, that's probably where they are. If I was a betting man, but I'm
And-
not because that's a sin.
That's a bit on the nose.
Say, where was
Distant,
that dog
slightly
barking
moving.
from? Is the dog barking from the southwest as well,
Your
Gio?
gosh darn tooth.
Yeah, what's that?
I
Huh?
believe that your emotional support dog, Ivan, may be in danger of being compromised by a communist canine.
The one dog's ear goes up, the other dog's ear goes down, and then it tilts its head to the side and looks confused.
And you see Ivan just sort of twitches a little bit, and then he looks down at the dog.
Big puppy dog eyes.
I'm rightly sure that's not going to happen to you. I know the heart wants what the heart wants,
Arr.
but that you can't let. That's how they get you. Those Black Widows from Russia. You know that.
The tiny yippy dog sound starts yipping, and you watch as your own dog takes one step in that direction, but then
Don't you
stops
do it.
itself.
Don't you do it.
The both ears go down. It like turns slowly away from you, just ever so slowly. Takes another step forward.
Wait a minute. If it's one thing that I've learned from classic cinema, it's that the way to convert communists is to show them the rightness of the American lifestyle. And what a nobler an endeavor could there be?
Now, Hiram, do you hear that? Points out towards the anthem.
I hear a high-pitched whine.
Sounds like there's commies not being shot over there.
Well, that isn't our directive here, but since communists are secularist, don't threaten me with a good time.
It is good that you recognize higher calling involved in this situation.
Well, I mean,
Red's already walking.
we are from God-fearing Texas. There's nothing scarier than imminent death.
Well, here you go.
We're going.
Hey,
Oh, he is gone. We should follow him before he gets into trouble.
yeah, go and get. Now,
Ivan, your dog's tail starts wagging as he starts following Red, and looks very excited about heading towards that barking.
At least one of us wants to kill commies. Good
Hey,
boy.
Wait 1 second. This is going to be funny. And he fiddles with the insides of the Protectron a little bit, slaps it shut, and sets it to cold boot, which should take a little while. And as they walk away, he laughs because now that robot's going to try to sell mortgages to people.
God damn it.
That is very cruel fate that you have subjected it to.
No, it's going to be great for everybody. It's a buyer's market right now.
Right in my heart. Right in my heart.
Imagine selling mortgages for a living.
God, what a terrible, terrible way to make a living. Anyone that
This
does
really
that
is
must
hell.
be miserable constantly.
Remind me when we come back to buy the house that he lives in.
He is a robot. He
Bayou,
has no rights.
Bayou loans.
When we come back, it'll be changed to welcome to the Bayou, Byou.
Yeah. Bayou loans and mortgage co. All right, so you start trudging your way through the water and the thick swamps, and the first building you come to is this kind of like lumber mill looking area. And
Oh God, I just realized where we are.
as you start maneuvering your way through, you see this old, again, kind of nasty looking lumber mill. There's all these piles of old logs and lumber that have been set up, and as you're making your way in, that sound of that Russian national anthem actually starts to get a little bit louder. So you think you're getting closer and closer to it, but you're not quite there. And as you're making your way through this lumber mill area, somewhere from just on the other side of that mill, you hear that tiny, kind of sounds like a tiny little dog, like a yip 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 kind of noise. And your own dog, Ivan, is just chomping at the bits. Like its tail is just wagging. It's hitting your leg. Like it keeps doing this. Its tail's gonna fall off because it's just nailing the side of your knee. But I would describe this though as well. There's this kind of greenish, low-hanging mist that seems to only be in this area. Only be in this area. This kind of green, low-hanging mist. But what I'd like you all to do in this moment is I'd like you all to make a quick check here. I'd like you to make a quick check here, and I want it to be like a perception check with let's do perception. Remind me, Aaron, how did we do perception checks when we were playing last? Because I know there's like no real good like spot thing.
I think we swapped the stat for survival. So instead of like survival endurance, was like survival perception.
Okay. I'm going to have you guys use the custom macro, and I'm going to have you roll a perception endurance check. So you'll add your perception with. Go ahead, please.
You can actually click on endurance on survival there and change that to perception, and then when you click survival, it'll roll with perception. Roll perception instead.
Oh, you can.
Excellent.
Yep.
All right, perfect. So it does allow you to do that.
Found that by accident today.
Oh, how do you do that? You click on. Oh,
Click on those
nice.
stats.
Oh, that's perfect. Excellent. That's very good. All right,
Now you
difficulty.
you will need to reset it.
Yep, you'll need to reset it. Okay, so 3. Difficulty on this was a 3, so that's great. But we got Red is going to get it. We got Lovecraft. Ivan's going to get it. Doctor's going to miss it. But we have... Holy crap, Ren. You don't miss stuff, do you? So Ren, Red, and Ivan will all see that right on the top of this roof, you see what looks like a Texas flag that is just, it's on its side, and it looks like there's a body on top of this building that is like fallen over as though it was maybe shot in the back. This person was shot in the back, and they are draped over, and you can see that in their hand there's a slight breeze kind of flowing, from left to right across this little logging area. But you can see that flag just ever so slightly kind of go up, go down, go up, go down, and then this body that's draped over it, and then you still hear that tiny little barking from a dog somewhere on the other side of
What kind of yellow-bellied son of a bitch would shoot a man in the back? Especially I was carrying such a glorious flag as that.
Well,
we are going to be meeting communists. This answers your question.
Well, maybe.
I grew up with communists. This is very fundamental tenet of communism. You look to stab person in back so you can, displace them and.
I meant maybe meeting communists, not that that's what communists do.
You have much to learn. Much to learn.
So how would you guys like to proceed?
Well, Red wants to climb up on that roof and get that flag.
Well, there's a green, there's a green miasma,
There is a green miasma that seems to be almost too perfectly located, like there's like a ring. It's like a perfect circle. And as you look around, I'm actually going to give this to you all as well. There's like a perfect circle of this green miasma. And it's rolling ever so slowly. And as you watch it, you can tell that from the center of this building, it's rolling out. You can see it actually spilling out. If you watch it, it's slow. It's very, very kind of this slow rolling, but it's slowly rolling out of this building and flowing out. And it's creating this perfect ring, this perfect circle that is surrounding the entire compound.
Is there a way we can figure out what it is? Hiram is sort of thinking that it's perhaps a radiation cloud or poisonous and may have contributed to that poor individual's death.
No, he got shot.
Well, but people don't die from being shot. They die from complications from being shot. I'm a doctor.
Are you saying if I shoot you, you're not going to die?
I mean, it's possible.
It's chain of causation.
No, that's not possible. If I shoot you, you die.
You shot that Mirelurk. It didn't die.
Well, you're not. Mirelurk's not a person.
Well, clearly, it's subhuman. It's not even human. It's less than a person. So how can something less than a person that doesn't die when shot? How can I die when you shoot me?
Because it weighs 7,000 pounds.
It didn't. It couldn't have weighed more than 6,700.
While the three of them are talking, Rennie's gonna get his heavy incinerator out and walk to the edge of the cloud and
As
Oh
you
god,
just
the whole
try to-
place, it's a meth lab. The whole place goes up.
as you start flamethrowing the cloud, you watch as the cloud does start to kind of melt and evaporate away in front of Rennie. And a moment later, after you start flamethrowing and just eviscerating and evaporating this cloud with the flyer from your flamer, you hear this this screaming. It is like you've killed someone's dog, is a type of screaming that you hear. And you hear this, no, not me, miasma, no! And rushing through the cloud, like rising up out of the cloud, you see this for lack of a better term, it is a super mutant wearing what looks like a big old armored hat, and on his back you see he's carrying this giant sack, and you can see a couple of like alligator heads and crocodile heads, both types, sticking out of the back. He's like, no, me miasma! Me have spent so much time building this! What are you doing? You're breaking everything! No! And he's running forward, and he's like trying to push the miasma back as your flames are evaporating it. And it's very ineffectual, and one of the alligator heads is like flopping back and forth in his shoulder, and he's just, no! What are you doing? No! And he's just screaming at you as this happens.
I'm still flamethrowing away, and I'm just gesturing like, I can't hear you. I can't hear.
No, you spent so much time. It is perfect circle. You know how hard it is to make perfect circle with miasma? Nearly impossible. What are you doing? Stop. No. And just screaming and screaming.
You'll finally like cut the light,
Yeah.
cut the ignition.
Yeah. And as you do so, he gets on all fours, disappearing slightly below the miasma. You could just see the one alligator head flopping back and forth in his little sack on his back. And then he slowly gets back up as he like pushes and just is breathing, and the miasma slowly fills back in the area that you have burned away. And he stands up, and kind of fixes his hat, fixes his crocodile sack on his shoulder, and then takes a stance. He like takes a stance. He's like, "Welcome, welcome to my shop. Would you like to buy some crocodiles?"
Wait, is this the alligator / crocodile farm?
Yes.
And you are Cesar?
It's my name. Don't wear it out. That was a joke. You can't wear out the name. The crocodile head in his shoulder flips forward. There's a sickening ripping noise as the head detaches from the body, flops to the ground, and the miasma kind of goes poof up and then settles back down. And he continues to hold this stance with his hand out like he's presenting something.
Red kind of narrows his eyes, looking between the corpse on the roof and the super mutant. His gears are turning.
Go ahead, Ivan.
I was just wondering, do you have live alligators?
Yes, they're inside. Would you care to take a look at my selection?
What of miasma? Is this dangerous?
Only if you're not super mutant.
This is good to know, because none of us are super mutants, as you can see.
Would you like to be one?
No, don't say no.
Not particularly, no.
But why not? Look at me. I am big. I am strong. I have Oh, where did the head go? And he starts to look around for the head and is mucking around inside the miasma, giving you all a moment to discuss amongst yourself what you'd like to do.
Well, we need to get above the miasma so that we can get to the roof.
You want my kill ammo?
You think he shot that guy?
I perhaps Red and Rennie, I don't know if that's a good idea.
Well, that won't take me on, because
Well, he got really upset the last time.
oh, not a can't help. I crocodile.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You were just speaking a little fast the first time. All right. Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Well, hold on.
No, it's fine. There's no need to be demeaning.
Yeah. Wow.
No need to.
I'll try with her.
Now you're insulting my intelligence. You can just let's just do that. Let's do your idea.
Oh, I found it. Here it is. And he picks up the head. This one half off because the head fell off.
And Rennie will turn to face him with the flamer and just light him up.
As the flamer goes to hit him, you see his expression turn to one of just utter betrayal. And as the flamethrower strikes the crocodile salesman, his final words as you light him up are, "I just wanted to be a business owner." And then there's just a burst of flame. And as the flame hits him, you realize that there was something explosive inside of his sack because he goes nuclear. And there is a kabloom. All of you are thrust back a good 20 feet, landing on your tuchuses, landing on your backs. Everyone is going to take 4 damage from this. It's a heavy hit as you all get flown back. And as you all come to, you watch as the miasma is just burning away. Like if you've ever seen someone light like spider webs on the grass and it just like quickly goes up in flame, you watch as the miasma all burns away. And standing, just you see 2 stumpy legs and a partial midsection of a super mutant, and that's all. And
What kind of damage is it? Just to be clear.
it's a bludgeoning, so it'd just be a physical damage. Excuse me, physical. Damage.
Okay.
Yeah, you would get any reductions that you have from getting thrown back. Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
You're picking him up off his back. I don't think he shot the guy.
Oh.
Woo-hoo! Yes, he walk out.
I thought he said ladder.
From somewhere inside
My mistake, but good.
of the compound, you hear a female's voice. It sounds like a female super mutant. And you hear her say, "Did they want to buy any crocodiles?"
Does
Caesar!
anyone-
Caesar! Did they want to buy any
so-
crocodiles?
So Rennie gets back up and like slings the flamethrower back. He's like,
Well, we're gonna head on.
and he starts moving towards the lumber mill
I
again.
think it would be funny if we cut to a scene, and if you want to stop me, you can, but you cut to a scene of Rennie kicking open the side door, someone going, "Oh, who are you?" And you just hear flame light up the inside, and there's just this burst of fire from some of the windows, and you just hear this muffled screaming from inside.
Well,
But that goes very quickly.
we ought to get up on the roof before that structure burns down. It looks the wood looks at least a little bit soggy, so I don't think it'll burn right away.
Yeah.
Rennie will come out with his beard slightly on fire, and
All right. Yeah.
Oh, good job, Rennie. You got a little something right there,
Yeah. What? Yeah.
right there.
What's that?
Yeah.
What's it?
No,
little
just
fire
right here,
on
right here,
that
there,
side.
right there.
Well, motherfucker. Shit. Oh, yeah.
Oh, good. There's a fireball there.
Actually, a fireball.
Lovely.
But as you all make your way over, you're able to climb up onto the roof, and you find what looks to be one of the previous two-foot rangers that was sent. And it's a little disturbing. It's a little disturbing as you find their body, and they were indeed shot in the back by a large caliber rifle. It was some sort of physical ammo, likely either some sort of large, maybe even a 50 cal. They're missing half their midsection, and it looks like they were attempting to plant. Their last action before they fell was to try and plant a flag of Texas on this location. But what is even more disturbing is you see that their skin looks like it's been changed or mutated in some way, rather than being that just normal human skin. It looks slippery and viscous, like more similar and akin to that of a seal or a dolphin or some sort of like water creature. It's like they were being transformed, and I'll let you do with that as you see fit.
Do they have a to steal a Fallout term? Do they have a holotape on them with like a log?
You know what? Absolutely, they do.
All right, then yeah, Dr. Hiram will take it. An audio. Oh hell, it's a holotape.
You have Pit-Boy. Why is this problem?
Well, you see, my Pip-Boy is a limited run 1550 model. Used what I consider superior, but far less widespread. It's my Pip-Boy can only play hollow 8-track. Which I think sounds better. But yeah, this won't work in my Pip-Boy.
Where do you get a good one though?
I'll have you know, this was the spoils of war that I took from. I shouldn't even really be telling y'all about this. It's probably still classified, but I was part of the strike team that wiped out Vault 666.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yes, it was a real place, and yes, it was a thing that I did. As long as there are no follow-up questions.
You see, you should lead with that. Therefore, you will not receive follow-up questions before you have the opportunity to tell us that.
Well,
I mean,
it's classified.
Hold on now. What's up? Yeah, when you want to send me something, yeah?
You told me you weren't going to tell anybody about that.
Oh. What's on fucking house? Zip. Wow.
Good man.
I don't know what you're talking about.
so you got a Satanist Pip-Boy there.
Well, you see, it's been properly cleansed, but it really is a well. You see, the vault didn't start out as satanic, but I think with a number like 666, you really couldn't help it.
Yeah, craftsmanship. Those 666ers are known for.
Well, no, it's a vault tech. It's not a. They didn't build it. The devil didn't build it. The devil doesn't build things. He only knows how to destroy.
Red looks at the doctor with a little bit of suspicion there. I mean, he might be a tad bit corrupted.
I will not have you speak ill of this magnificent piece of craftsmanship. As a matter of fact, listen to this. Listen to the fidelity. I brought my own hollow 8-track. Listen to this fidelity.
Oh, what's that with again?
Well, Rennie, if they didn't question me, I wouldn't have to do it. I know you don't enjoy this song.
Come on, put on some Waylon Jennings or something like. What you got for this? God.
And
as he slaps the hollow 8-track in, the background track to whatever it is, Wolf, that you're going to describe is Van Halen's Jump.
That's brilliant.
I like that we're having this conversation up here, standing around a corpse with a sniper shot on the roof.
And as you're all discussing this, I'm actually going to have Red be the one that notices this without a check, but somewhere up in the sky, there's like that kind of that yellowish overcast. There's clouds, the radiation clouds, but for a split second, you think you see a winged humanoid dip below the clouds, and bringing your pistol up, you take a pot shot at it. Go ahead and roll an attack roll.
Yeah, I was about to say, does it keep diving because I shot it, or
just make the attack roll? Let's see what happens. I just want to see how many successes you get. That's 2 successes. Perfect. I love it. Absolutely perfect. Go ahead and roll damage. Holy mother of God. That's 9, 10,
He
11,
just
12.
dropped us.
So you watch as this winged humanoid dressed in red, like what looks like red robes, is swooping. They have these white angelic feathery wings, spend wide,
Oh, no.
dips below the cloud line for a second. Red reactionary draws the pistol. Doctor, you see Red shoot an angel, and you watch as this angelic figure spins as the bullet hits, ripping through the wing in their midsection, and then starts to tumble. And I'm going to pivot you guys back to the Overland Bayou map, and I'm using it. But the angel appears to land somewhere near these blue buildings over there, and you just see it spiral, and then you see this little plume of dust and dirt off in the distance.
And yeah, without like missing a beat, Dr. Howard will just turn to you monster, and then he'll run. He'll just like start running on. He'll jump off the roof like and just start running as fast as he can towards the. I'm coming.
As he starts running towards the location of this.
He didn't mean it. I swear.
As Van Halen's jump gets quieter and quieter in the distance.
But you would all hear this. that are
I
not
didn't mean
running.
to. He looks down at this. I didn't know he had such power.
That's so funny. But as you start running off towards this, you would all hear that tiny, just like ever so slightly above the sound of the distant Van Halen, you would hear that tiny yipping barking. And once again, Ivan, your dog, it is very excited to move in that direction. Very, very excited to move. But as you all run off, you pass a couple of other locations, and even though you're running, Doctor, you would actually see several bodies along the way, and some of them look to be dressed in Tufot clothing, so that ranger clothing from the glorious, Federated Commonwealth, blah 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 of Texas, wherever the hell you're from. I digress. But as you're running and you're running around, you would see, and some of them look to have scaly kind of skin. Thank you, Professor Hex. Some of them look to have that slippery skin. Some look to have kind of feathered skin. Some of them look to be like more blobbish, as though their actual bodies had like kind of melted away. But you're finding these little corpses along the way, and each and every one of them has a large caliber bullet hole, kind of dead center of mass, as though they were maybe they were even hunted. Is kind of the impression you're getting. But go ahead, Doctor.
Yeah, and as he does, he's gonna flick his Pip-Boy over to the map screen and mark the locations of these bodies on his local map, but not stop, not check them, and look at as he runs past the last one, who's I feel like he's got like a baseball-sized hole in his back where the large caliber bullet came out.
Absolutely,
could have been anything. We won't know without an autopsy.
Oh my Lord, have mercy. Lord, have mercy. But you'll arrive a little sooner, Doctor. But as you make your way past this kind of dock area, you trudge your way through some swamp, you get back up on the boardwalk, you eventually all will come to what looks like an old farm. And in the distance, you can see what looks to be an old fort as well. And you guys are running through what looks to be this kind of almost like a cornfield, but it's not that corn. It's that weird, mutated maize stuff that folks grow. But I'm going to go ahead and drag you all back onto this new map as well. Let me just grab you here and then zip over here. But as you break the tree line and you start hitting the cornfield, you see this red painted. Now the roof on the map is not, but the roof has been painted bright red. It's fresh, and you can see a yellow hammer and sickle has been painted on every side, the four sides of this building. You can see the two sides. You see kind of the northern side. Perfect. Thank you, Professor Hex. Absolutely fantastic. So Blau did it. Thank you. That's absolutely perfect. And then you'd see a yellow, if anyone wants to draw a yellow hammer and sickle on the map as well.
That's beyond my artistic talent.
And yeah, you break the side, but right in the middle of these, you see these little flags kind of in the middle here. On the ground, you see what appears to be a fallen angel. It has crashed into the ground.
Oh my God.
It's just sitting there, and you can see one of its wings coated in red blood. It's just kind of twitching like this. Twitching. Giant bullet hole in the side of it.
Yeah, so Dr. Hiram is going to produce his doctor bag. And,
Hiram, I think this is more on you than me. I did my part.
you kill, you shot I guilty by association. I don't know.
If that was of the divine, I wouldn't have been able to kill it.
You're of the divine. People can kill you. Oh my God!
What?
What's this? Oh, you know what? It's proof that it is divine because you know why? It doesn't even have tail feathers. It wouldn't be able to fly. It wouldn't be aerodynamic enough to.
Remy will try to
physics.
catch up to the doctor and like place a meaty hand on his shoulder.
I can't. Oh, Remy, what are we gonna do?
No. Well, now, you're gonna watch that.
Okay.
Remember,
Right.
you'll remember, act for hair. Here, hold hands of hair. Well, the hair on has hair on, so you don't care. You remember that?
I remember. Yeah, I remember.
That's right.
And, all right. Yes. So Dr. Hiram is going to try to make a medicine check to do first aid on this fallen angel.
As you get about halfway through the cornfield, up on the roof of this red barn, each of you will
Santa
notice
Claus.
three armored-looking individuals. Each appear to be wielding a large caliber rifle, and as they kind of cross the peak of the roof, you see them all set their rifles down, all of them aiming in your direction, and over the loudspeakers, you all would hear this booming voice. So, you have made it through all of my traps. I am highly impressed at your capabilities. Perhaps you will be eloquent and adequate species for my experimentations.
There were traps.
I'm sorry. What traps?
Wait, you're saying that there weren't traps? Boris, I
No.
told you to reset traps. What is wrong with you? I tried to reset traps, but they were already sprung because of the other rangers. Boris, I told you to get more traps. And they start to have this argument back and forth about traps over the loudspeaker.
Well, I have to see to this angel, so if we can postpone our reckoning until such a time as I've finished my ministrations.
What is he talking about, Angel? I do not know what he is talking about, Angel. Perhaps it is the one that you gave wings to. Well, that one was the hardest one to hunt. You know, the greatest species of all, the greatest creature to hunt is man. But also man with wings is even more scary to hunt, isn't it? I don't know, Boris. What are you talking about? I'm not Boris. You are Boris. And then they just continue to argue.
Excuse me. Wait. You mean that this is a creature created by man?
The comms cut off, and the last thing you hear is, "You fucking idiot! This is why all of the other rangers were able to break in, because you didn't reset trap." And then it cuts off.
Yes, Doctor. I believe this is horrible perversion of God's creation.
Indeed,
Man
this
attempting to play a role of God.
Indeed, this is an abomination. And the doctor will take his Gauss rifle at like point blank ranges.
As you get close to the angel, the face turns up to you, and you see this owl-like humanoid face.
Boo, 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 boo.
And it simply says, "Oh, kill me!" And then boom, it just splatters everywhere, just sending guts and feathers all over the place. But as that happens,
It was different and scary.
As that happens, the three gentlemen on the roof all take aim, and we're gonna drop back into initiative as I add these fine gentlemen into the initiative as well, and we're gonna get after this here. And let me go ahead and drop some little bit of battle music here for you, and you guys are gonna have a quick little fight here as we move forward. So All right, and nice. All right, everybody's in. You actually don't need to reset your initiatives because you've already put them in.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I can
Yeah,
just,
we
I
can't.
just
We can't
save
see them though.
Yeah. Oh, you can't see them? Oh.
Yeah,
that's-
yeah. When you
that's weird.
transition to roll 20
Oh
maps, you
yeah.
can't see
Okay.
them.
Well, go ahead and let me just let me reset them there. 17, 15. Well, I can just tell you whose turn it is. That's fine. Ain't no thing but a chicken wing.
But what if we
Alright.
don't trust you?
Well, you shouldn't. I'm the game master or the overseer. It's my job to
Yeah.
mess you up. But as you all begin, I'm actually going to give each of them, because they were readying themselves, they're actually going to take shots, and they're shooting with some big guns. And the closest person is the good doctor. So I'm going to go ahead and roll a quick shot here. You know what? I've got AP too. I'm going to spend one to give him 3d20s. And the focus is a
Oh, geez, that much damage?
4. And let's see, that is 3 successes, actually. So that is a hit, and they are wielding a big old 50 cal sniper rifle. So it's going to hit you, and it's probably not going to feel good. But I feel like 8 plus 2 rending, so that is, it's going to be 9 damage. 9 damage, and that is going to be on... You know what? I got a die here. Let me just grab this little die, and you're just gonna have to trust me. I'm gonna roll it. It's gonna be to your left arm. 9 damage to
Bullshit.
your left arm. Here, I rolled it. It says left arm.
Sorry, I was reflexive.
You could have picked that up on any die face.
That's true. I could have, and I did. Left arm felt right.
Oh, see, Red, I'm not dead. You can't die
Well,
from a bullet.
I didn't shoot you.
It's not.
You wanna?
I am losing a lot of blood.
The second one is going to take a pot shot at, oh my god, 3 successes again. This one's going towards Red.
Oh,
And,
Red's walking out into the middle of the street, starting to
Oh my god, so it's
rooting and
8,
tooting.
9, 10, 11. That is 11 damage to Red's torso. 11 damage to the torso. And let me know if at least 5 damage goes through, because that does
Yes.
do a critical
Oh,
effect.
yeah, I'm critical.
Yeah.
I'm
Your
critical.
arm is critically, it's damaged. It's
Ow.
basically almost inoperable. You can't even really use it. And then the
Oh,
last
boy.
one is going to see this mountain of a man, because no communist would shoot a man with a dog. So they're going to ignore Ivan. And it's just Ivan, your mind, in the back of your mind, you start to hear this Russian motherly voice. It's starting to talk to you. And she's like, yes, you must go to... I can't do a Russian female voice, but it's a Russian female voice. And she's like, yes, come back to the motherland. It will be great. We have cookies. They're not very good because they're communist cookies, but they'll be delicious because of, in the motherland. And then she starts going on, and you're having a moment, Red. I'm going to let you... not Red, Ivan. You're having a moment because you're seeing Red. But I'm going to let you deal with that as you see fit. But Red, you're going to get shot as well, as they are going to take a pot shot at you. And let's see what happens here.
You mean Rennie? I already got shot.
Not Red, excuse me. Rennie. Rennie's gonna get shot. That is another.
I mean, I'll get shot twice.
4
I don't mind.
successes on that one. And let's see what happens here. It's we got another 8, and Rennie's gonna take 9, 10, 11 to his right leg. And now it's Red's turn.
Okay, I will take 3 damage.
Nice. Perfect.
He's
He is so armored up. I love it. He is unstoppable.
I kind of like, I hop on my leg a little bit, like, oh, son of a bitch. Ah.
It's like, oh, don't shoot him. You'll just make him mad.
Oh my god.
Red's gonna step up and he's going to start from left to right and just start sweeping the top of that roof as best he can with his dual pistols.
All right. And so they are going to be at... So before you roll,
okay.
I'm going to let you reroll
Right.
because you have 6 AP right now, okay? The difficulty, because you're currently... So they're about 2 ranges away from you, okay? So you've
Okay.
got your close range would be like in the cornfield, then the little area kind of in front of the barn, and then the barn itself would be considered long range, okay? So you're currently
Okay.
shooting at... It's just outside your range. Now you can take a minor action to move into medium range, which would put them at a difficulty of 2 to hit, but you'd have to spend your minor action to make that move. So if you want to rush forward and get close to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Red
perfect.
will rush forward and get close to him. I can roll 2 more d20s with
Perfect.
action points, right?
Yep, absolutely.
All right, so here's for the first one. Oh, if I could use a keyboard, that would be lovely.
I don't believe it.
Oh, that's awful.
Ooh, that's not great. Do you want to use some luck? Don't forget, you guys have luck points to reroll
Oh yeah,
stuff.
what does luck do? I forget. You can
You
reroll.
can use luck to reroll a d20.
All right, then I'll use that as my reroll, and I'll roll that as my second one.
Ooh, and a crit! Nice!
Nice.
That's a crit hit.
Hey!
So that would get you your
That's
AP
2 successes on
back.
each.
2 successes on each. That's perfect. So both of those are going to be hits. And let's roll some damage.
Damage on 2, and I can just click the same
Holy
one.
mother of God. So I want you to imagine as this rootin' tootin', you know, Texas red, you can hear it in the
I'm
background
bullet fairly ripping.
as you run up, and it's just like you're wielding an uppercut in both hands. Just boom, guy's head, pink mist, falls back. The other one, boom, pink mist, falls back. Over the comms, you hear the guy again. He goes, "Are they dead yet? Have you killed them?" And then you hear a guy up on the roof and says, "No, but they've killed 2 of us! That's impossible! You're the best soldiers we have! Come on, do it for the motherland!" And the last one looks very nervous about his chances. Because next up we do have... Red, yes?
One moment. I have a perk called Gun Fu.
Oh boy.
You can... I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. It's a perk called Gun Fu. When you succeed at a range attack, you may spend 1 AP and 1 ammo to hit a second target within... Oh, it's within close range. Oh, within close range of the initial target. So they're within close range of each other, right?
You could go boom, boom, and then flip the first gun around and try to take out the last one. You're welcome to do
Get it
so.
up, yeah.
Yep, you're
Awesome.
welcome to do so. I
I'm
love
gonna
it.
roll damage. Is it? Do you get to attack or do
You have to
deal
attack.
the
You would
damage
be an
again?
attack.
See.
Yep.
I feel like he'd like throw one of his guns up and pull the third gun.
Can that be what he does? He shoots 2, throws one up, it's spinning, draws the third gun. I love it.
Yes.
There's a fucking
It
Wild
says
West
you
stunt
just-
show.
It says
It's
to
fucking-
hit a second target within close range. It doesn't
I
say you
love
have to
it.
make the attack roll.
I love
Fucking
it. Oh,
revolver
then
ocelot
yeah,
over
you
here.
just hit him. Go ahead and roll the damage. Yep, and as your one gun spins up in the air, it is slow motion somersaulting up. Doctor, you're holding on to your left arm. It's bleeding profusely, and you watch as though he is reaching into the void itself. He produces this big iron. It's the largest of his guns. I mean, this thing looks like a tiny hand cannon, and the boom is so loud that all of you can hear this ringing in your ears. And where a man was standing, there is nothing. It is though he was deleted, but you could just see tiny bits of fabric falling to the roof. And then you hear this kind of clanking noise, and you realize that it's tiny fragments of bone colliding with the metal tin roof. He shot a man with bones. But
Man with bones.
those
Who would do that?
3 Russian guards have been killed. And once again, over the comms, over the loudspeakers of this, you hear, "Okay, so that was them dying, yes?" And there's no response. "I don't think that was them dying. I think that was them killing our guards." "Well, then send more guards." "Well, those are the only guards we have left." "What do you mean those are the only guards we have left? We're supposed to have a whole army here. They've all died from radiation." "What do you mean died from radiation? You also experimented on the rest of them." "I did not do that. You can't." And then the comms cut off again.
I'd like to do some first aid on myself.
That's completely understandable and acceptable.
Red turns around, one pistol on the ground, the other now mismatched pistols in his hand with a sucking chest wound, goes, "Help, please."
All right. Give me a second though to deal with this. And there's just like a whole bunch of meat just hanging off his arm.
No.
But I've got perks that will help me help everyone.
And I'd like to pivot over to Ivan as you're dealing with your healing. I'm curious, what is going through Ivan's head right now?
I think it's just this confused melange of various different flashes as he goes through basically a post-traumatic stress disorder montage of various different ways in which he has been conditioned and tortured by both the quote-unquote Soviets within his vault and then the reprogrammers inside the other half of the vault. And then as he sort of shakes himself clear of that, he's going to look down at Sonny. "Well, what do you think, partner?"
And as you say, "What do you think, partner?" Sonny opens his mouth And
Bees.
and as Sunny begins to speak, it's not really words that you hear, but it's like music, and it
What's a Manchurian
sounds
candidate?
it
Trigger.
sounds Russia, our holy nation. It's the Russian national anthem coming out of his mouth for a few seconds. You hear it. It's glorious. And then it cuts off, and you hear Sunny going, "Arr?"
Why do you break my heart, Sonny? Why?
You hear him start barking, and it kind of sounds like he's saying USA, USA, USA.
You are tearing me apart, Sonny.
The small, tiny yipping that you've heard sounds like it's coming from somewhere inside the building, but it sounds like it's from maybe somewhere underground.
Tearing me apart, Sonny. Oh, hi, doctor.
Oh, hi.
How's your
Bob.
sex?
Hi,
How's your sex
I was
life?
thinking the entire time.
Yes.
Um,
Oh,
so,
my lord.
I
Red.
did not defect. I did not.
So the results of my my rolls were successful.
Okay.
Red, you gain back 2 hit points, and you can ignore if you got a critical injury to your torso. You ignore the effects of that critical until you take damage to your torso again. Then you roll a damage die. If it's an effect, the wound reopens and you're back to that.
Well, that'll never happen. Red's not going to get shot again.
Never in his life.
That sounds
Everybody gets one. Just one.
Yep.
He gave him a shot, and they took it, and it wasn't good enough.
It didn't kill him. That is true. It didn't kill him. Man.
That's why I said you can't die from a bullet.
Oh, well, let's not open up this conversation again.
I never said you can't die. I said you can't die from my bullet.
You know, in light of recent observations, I'm willing to concede that point. I am a scientist after all.
Red check, we're in agreement then.
And as we say in the scientific method, correlation definitely equals causation.
Red does like point over shoulder at the roof again.
Exactly. Cause, effect, correlation, causation.
Any of y'all want one of those rifles?
I'm not going to despoil myself by touching a communist weapon.
But the Satan gauntlet, that's fine though.
It wasn't Satan. We're not going to get into this right now. We're going to go into that building and murder those other communists.
Rennie's sitting on a nearby hay bale and just kind of looks dejected.
Oh.
Ren, are you all right?
So I was just going to say, I think
Oh,
as
sorry.
that conversation was going on, Ivan would have gone over to Renoir, but go ahead.
Oh, no. At least I resolved that.
Big floor.
Yeah. And just noting that sort of dejected attitude, Ivan is going to plop down on the hay bale next to him. I know we do not speak often, but I think we are both unwell.
Rennie will look at you, Ivan, and just kind of narrow his eyes, and he'll say,
Well, so you know, was over there, bang, bang. And I sit down here and like, gotta get bang in, but
Yes, I am feeling very conflicted. This is crisis of faith, perhaps? You are very wise men. I know this. You, as the doctor would put it, speak in tongues. You have a direct connection to God, I think.
Rennie's looking around wildly, like,
Glossolalia, is this the English term? You speak nonsense that is divine?
Huh?
Like that. Just, I need help. Please advise me. I am feeling very conflicted about this, that
yeah,
hurt my people
yeah.
in a way.
Oh, yeah, somewhere.
and he'll place a hand on your shoulder, like looking into your eyes, Ivan. And he'll say, look into your heart, comrade. Find your inner perfection and realize that those of your people who are not
one with you in your path, your personal journey. They are merely stones that you will dash to the side of the road as you continue towards your glorious light.
As Red walks up to Rennie, clearly speaking gibberish to Red
Correct.
or to Ivan, he pats me, look as he was looking dejected before, and says, "You want to take point in there?"
Oh, yeah.
And he'll slap his thighs and get up and kind of jog in there.
I love it so much.
Beautiful man.
Hey, you coming? Now you want to get in?
He just turns over to Sonny, slaps his thigh to get the dog to follow him, and nods.
And as you all begin to make your way inside, you find numerous bodies that have been neatly stacked along walls, neatly lined up, as though by I don't know how to describe it. It's very purposeful in the way that they're stacked up lines. And as you get inside, you notice that each of them has a little like tag on them, with a little pin, and they're numbered. And you see like there's one, they're not in any particular order, but there's like 1, 5, 6, 7, 23, 74. And each of them has different little colored, like someone took a piece of like a marker or paint and just made a little mark. And there's reds and blues and yellows and purples and oranges, all these different colors. But each of the bodies themselves are just humans. Some of them wearing clothing, some of them naked, some of them in Russian outfits, some of them in Texas outfits. Some of them look like the potential missing scientists that you've been looking for as well. But as you make your way, you find this very out of place looking mechanical stairwell that leads down about 20 feet. Then there's a little platform, and then there's an elevator. And on that elevator, the numbers 28 are clearly like carved in to the metal of the elevator doors on either side, 2 and 8, and then have been painted in yellow and red tones.
Was that already? Yeah? 10.
I would imagine so, yes.
Well, yeah, 10.
Well, would you do the honors?
There's a little tiny speaker to the right of this elevator, and as Ren steps forward to activate it, you hear once again that voice. Well, I would tell you, the door is trapped. You should not use it. It will explode, and you will all die. Don't come down here. We have a massive army of robots and tell them we have super mutants down here. We have super mutants, army of super mutants that have been mind controlled by glorious Mother Russia scientists. They will kill you as soon as you step out of doors.
Well, I ain't never been afraid of dying to explosions or armies.
These Texas Rangers, they feel no fear. I don't know. Tell them that we'll give them hugs then. We will hug you. We will give you warm, sloppy kisses if you come down here.
Well,
I'll just shoot them before they do that.
you know, if you wish to clandestinely communicate without us understanding, you could just speak Russian to one another. That would outflank the issue of us overhearing your conversation.
The one you can hear them physically move to the corner of the room away from it, but leave the comms open, and they start speaking Russian together. But it's very, very broken Russian, and they keep using American words. So you're just getting like about half of the conversation. But it's mostly, we're all gonna die. That was the last of our troops. We need to find a way out of here.
Yep. Shall we just burn them to death with the flamer?
Rennie will like take the meaty trunk of a leg and just kick that the doors open.
And as you kick the doors, there is a and then they slide open. And as you see this beautifully, almost looks like a brand new elevator. And from inside, you hear
Yes, music, huh? Now, yo,
Look, I know you don't like that song. It's the only one I have.
Does it look like it's Vault Tech, or does it look
It
pre-war?
does look like
or...
it's Vault Tech. It absolutely does. Yes. But it's in
Come on,
immaculate condition.
Yeah, go on. It's a bread button. Go on. You know.
And as all of you, I believe, step in, the dog, Ivan, your dog is very excited, and from somewhere down the elevator shaft, you hear this echoing. It's up, and the dog is just wagging its tail back and forth, just so excitedly.
Listen, son of a bitch. I am concerned about what we have found here. Don't get your hopes up. She may not be a looker.
Listen, I've been thinking. Dogs, they're colorblind, so they can't see the colors of the American flag.
I don't like what you're implying. Dogs are the most American thing in this world. I mean, next to
Well,
apple pie.
You know, that's interesting. I thought you were going to say next to America.
Well, they also can't see red. Not me. The color like communists.
Are you invisible to dogs?
I am visible to. No.
And as the
Wow.
doors of the elevator cling shut, and you start to move your way down, a voice
What y'all talking about?
comes over the radio. Next up on Elevator Hits, we have the same song again. Dun 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 dun.
Bum. Yeah.
And he'll gesture towards Ivan, like,
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Red starts doing it too. Gets into it with his pistols.
Yeah, come on, yeah.
slaps him on the back.
Definitely accidentally discharges 2 pistols into the floor.
And as the pistols discharge into the floor, you hear this ricochet from below, and you hear this.
2 for 1. Is that another side experiment? I hope so.
No. I mean, look at it this way, Ivan. Now I don't think you have to worry if that dog's communist or not.
You shot dog.
Sonny, I didn't mean to do that.
Sonny is wagging his tail and is on his 2 hind legs and is like kind of mirroring everybody else and doesn't seem to notice what's happening. He's just really excited to be part of the group.
Remy will grab his paws and dance with the dog.
Just really happily dancing. The whole time. And as you all get down to the final level, the song, which has repeated itself about 4 times, it takes a while. You go down. It's about a 10-minute elevator ride. It's a while. You go deep into the core of the earth. It goes from being cold to getting warm again. Is how far down you go.
Doctor, why didn't they make the elevator any faster? It seems like this is a long time.
Well, if I had to speculate, and again, I'm speculating using the scientific method, I would imagine that to go any faster, we would very quickly reach terminal velocity, plunging straight through the mantle core of the planet into a molten hell that is quite possibly the physical hell. There's no evidence to suggest that hell is not a physical place at the center of the earth. But
if an elevator goes too fast, you go to hell.
I mean, that you never heard that old saying, one express elevator to hell going down.
That must be it.
I've only heard of highway to hell.
And as you
Is this
go ahead.
a
Sorry.
similar concept?
Well, there's also a highway to heaven.
As you get to the lower floor and the elevator doors open, the smooth radio announcer's voice comes over the radio again. He said it twice, and now again, the same song. He says, "Welcome to your destination. Don't forget to grab all items and exit the elevator promptly." And as you look out, you see a tiny, maybe a little bit bigger than a poodle-sized dog. White, floofy. Like, I mean, just the floofiest little dog you've ever seen in your entire life. And it's wagging its tail. And you notice that it has a massive bullet wound in the front of its chest, but its tail's still wagging, and it looks happy as can be, and it should probably be dead, but it's not, and it's just sitting there, and Sunny, its tail wagging, just leaps forward, and the two of them just start playing in the corner.
I don't think that's a dog.
It's very clearly a dog. If it looks like a dog and barks like a dog, it's a dog. And you didn't kill that dog with a bullet. We are going to need to revise that theory, the theory of general bullet relativity.
And Sonny is quite content. Clearly, it is a dog. He would know if it was not. He is the expert.
For the motherland. For the motherland.
Dogs don't do that.
Sunny's wagging its tail. It's wagging its tail. They're
Russian
sniffing each
dogs
other's
probably
butts.
do that.
That's a thing.
No, Russian dogs say, "What's bark?"
In Soviet Russia, dog bark you. But no.
I believe Russian dogs go bliet bliet.
Wearing tracksuits.
From the left side,
no.
right side of the map, from the
Squatting.
left side of your character's perspective, you hear those two voices. Oh no, they've made it down. Well, of course they made it down. Why wouldn't they make it down? There was no traps on there, like you said. I don't know. Maybe I thought that they'd be afraid that we would hug and kiss them. We cannot kiss them. We don't even have bodies. Well, what if we did have bodies? We could put ourselves in bodies. And you hear, and you finally realize that these two voices, these Russian voices, sound a little more robotic as they're coming, as you're hearing them like on the same floor in the same area. And as if you maybe poke out and look to the left there, you would see two Protectrons painted completely red with the yellow sickle and hammer emblazoned on the front of them. And they're both wielding tiny looking las pistols in each of their little clawed hands. And they're like pointing them up and over this little ledge area. But their bodies are turned and they're arguing with each other as this is going on.
Red, like, pistol in each hand, shoulder bumps. Rooney.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm right behind you, buddy.
Oh, yeah, all right. Yeah.
And he'll so Rennie can see these Protectrons, right?
They look like they're trying to be in cover, but they're doing a god awful job of it, and they're not in cover, and they're just arguing with each other.
Well, Rennie's smart enough to know that like the fire's not really going to do too terribly much. It'll have to be pretty hot to melt steel beams. So he'll sling the incinerator back on, pull out the curved ripper.
Doesn't that in fact shoot jet fuel?
The science is out on that, actually.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you see, this isn't no, I'm not going to make that joke. Going to get canceled. Okay. So he's going to run, again, he's going to hype himself up in the elevator. Like, and then again, do that sort of Braveheart kind of, and then run out of the elevator towards the Protectrons.
Oh no! One of their super mutants, they are super mutants, they're charging us! And the two robots start to fire at you with the las pistols, and it just goes everywhere but at Rennie. And they're shooting, and the one that's been doing most of the talking screams, "No! Parlay! Parlay!" as Rennie charges forward. And I'd like you to go ahead and make an attack roll, Rennie.
Sounds like that secularist French talk to me.
Actually, when they mention parlay, Rennie will sort of like screech on his heels to a halt and stop, and then he'll say,
Well, Rosie, y'all want parlay?
Yes, we wish to parlay. Yes, that's what they said. He said parlay. We wish not to die in combat with giant super mutant.
Now go on. Yes, yeah.
Well, we've never gotten this far before. Most of the time, we just get shot at. We wish not to die. What are your terms?
Well, yeah. Now, your mom don't not that, you know. But on my end, why won't you do that? You know what I'm saying? So we're at a wall. You know what I'm saying?
The term is, I believe, term is impasse. Yes.
That's what they have on
Oh.
highways.
Yeah. I don't know what. Yeah.
Tructrons look at each other, look back to you. What if, and hear me out, what if we give you all information from base, you let us go. That way you get what you want. Wait, you take him, you kill one of us, and then I get to live. And then the other one goes, no, you kill him, and I get to live. And then they just start to argue, and it just breaks down into madness.
So Red's kind of those two pistols up. Y'all have proof that God exists, right?
And the two robots look to each other, then look at Rennie, then look back to each other, then look up at the ceiling. And you would all notice that on the ceiling is the most beautiful mural that you've ever seen in your entire life. You know, the Sistine Chapel.
An old lady?
God reaching out and touching man. It's
the
that.
creation of man.
The creation
mural.
of man. It is that.
I see.
Mural, yes. But what's interesting, though, is the man that's being created is definitely Russian.
Wearing a fur-covered hat or
Oh,
something.
yeah. Super,
Yeah.
super like that. And both of them say, we have changed mind. We are prepared to die.
I just picture it's like Joseph Stalin.
Yeah, it's Joseph
Right.
Stalin reaching out.
The finger. Yeah.
Accurate.
He's like-
Creation of Stalin.
So
he's like strangling God.
Yeah. That's perfect.
happy pogrom. And so he just like Rennie comes forward and just like takes the projectrons in his big meaty arms and just kind of slaps him on the back line.
You're a brave hand. You know, you're a rebel. You know.
Please.
And just like we'll slowly crunch them together.
And you just
so
hear
that they're
no, not like this, not like this. For Mother Russia, we will. Then they both collapse to the ground.
He'll turn around, he'll
We're
spin
robots,
around.
right?
Well done.
Allez, fini.
Buddy, Beanie. That's great. Oh my lord. So, as this is all going on, Ivan, my friend, this place looks really, really, really familiar. Like you've seen this place before, but it's like remembering a dream. It's like remembering something that someone told you about, but it was so vibrant. It was so visual in the way they described it to you that you felt like you were there. But it's superimposed over this feeling of, I've been here. And there's something about the blinking yellow light that is coming from this hallway over here that it almost feels like it's calling to you in this moment even. It just feels like it. And as you look over, you see the tiny little white dog and Sunny are playing together. And then the tiny white dog, still with that gaping wound in its chest, starts to kind of skip, because it's a tiny little Pomeranian-style dog. It kind of skips, almost like a deer, like frolicking over, and heads over towards that yellow light. And you watch as the dog, your dog, Sunny, follows it almost instinctually.
Yeah, I think as it's skipping away, Ivan is actually going to try to reach out and take the dog in his hands and lift it up into his arms. And as it's struggling inside of his grasp, trying to reach out towards that light, Ivan is just going to carry it in that direction.
The white dog or your dog?
The white dog, if I can.
As you pick it up, it feels heavier than a little tiny dog should. It's about as heavy, maybe a little bit heavier than Sunny would be to pick up Sunny. So it feels like it's made of metal almost. Like the insides are heavy, and it's a little mechanical in its motions. You can kind of hear gears from inside of it.
I don't think he even notices. He just starts petting it absently between the ears.
All the rest of you watch as Ivan starts to slowly make his way over to this yellow blinking light. I'm curious, what are the rest of you doing?
Well, Dr. Hiram has used this time. He's sort of ambling around. And I think he's going to be sort of checking out this area. Is this an actual hangar? Like, is there an actual...
Yeah, there's an actual vertibird in that hangar, and it looks like it's in pristine, perfect condition. It does have the hammer and sickle painted on the side of it, but it looks like it hasn't been used in a while. But based on a quick glance over it, it looks like it's definitely usable.
I'll have to get that painted over. But, well, we've got a ride out of here. We don't have to walk in the swamp anymore.
Wow.
Only if we don't want to get shot down when we get back.
I don't think we have to worry about that. I believe that we've terminated the communist presence in this area.
I meant by the Texans. You see that hammer and sickle?
Oh, well, we've got a radio in there. We've got the code. We could just tell them who we are. I don't sound communist. You don't sound communist. Remy certainly doesn't sound communist. Ivan sort of does sound communist sometimes. What? Well, he does.
Red's
yeah,
gonna start poking around on their computer consoles and stuff up here, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna start poking around, looking for video feeds or anything if he can find them.
Mm-hmm. And as you start poking around, Red and Ivan, as you make your way over to the yellow light, you get to this section. It's all written in Russian, Ivan, but the section says Science Division. Science Division. And there's a little keypad there. And you look at the keypad, and the numbers, they kind of like appear in your mind. And you get this feeling like, you think the code, Ivan, you feel like that code might be 143. You're not sure why, but 143 pops into your mind.
He sets the dog down on the ground, looks over at Sunny, probably as the two dogs greet each other again a little bit. Sunny more interested
Doing
in
a little spin as they
robot.
sniff each other's butts. Yep, that's true.
Yeah. He just stares at the keypad. I don't rightly understand a thing that's going on here. This is so strange. He just punches in the code.
As you punch in the code, the doors slide open. The smell that greets you is a mixture of really strong vodka and potatoes. Yeah, really strong vodka and potatoes mixed with death is what you smell.
That's the same thing.
Correct.
Well, that's just the smell of home.
And Red, as you are scanning the cameras and the feeds at this computer terminal, you would find that there are cameras on the outside, there are cameras in this area, there are cameras in the hangar, but the whole second 2/3 of this facility, for some reason, don't have any cameras.
And he's just going to call back over his shoulder. I think this is where we should go. And without waiting for anyone, he's just going to start walking forward, ignoring both them and the dogs.
You enter into this high security corridor. It's like an additional security checkpoint. And you see that there is a bioscanner that you have to walk through. And you would actually recognize this, Ivan, as being like a security terminal where if you don't pass the bioscan, you might be burned alive. But something tells you that, you know what, you're going to be fine. You can't quite put your finger on it, but something feels right. You should walk through it and you'll be fine.
I think just in a daze, he's going to trundle through.
Mm-hmm. Biosignature authorized. Welcome home, Ivan 43.
Thank you.
I don't. That doesn't sound very good to me. Hey, Ivan,
No.
why don't you wait for the rest of us?
Ivan's
No,
already moved
no,
his
it's
way
fine.
up.
It's fine.
Hell.
And is it clear for everyone else to proceed at that point?
Yeah, the security seems to have deactivated itself. To your left, Ivan, you see a fusion core generator. It's currently running, max capacity. Everything is going well. There's a couple of other terminals that corridors, excuse me, that lead down, and you can hear what sounds like kind of a bubbling and a boiling and a and almost like vats and tubes and maybe little science experiments are going on. But it's quiet, other than that kind of ambient noise of like a science facility that you hear. Where would you like to go?
I think he's just standing there in a bit of a stupor as the rest of the group catches up with him. He's looking down each of the various different hallways with this bizarre look on his face of quasi-recognition and befuddlement.
Something feels, it just all feels so familiar, like you've been here before. You just, again, you can't quite put your finger on it, Ivan.
Based on that sensation, where does he feel that he wants to go or needs to go?
Right, left, like you can see it in your mind. You can see the directions. Right, so you go straight down this corridor, right in front of you. Take a right, then take a left, then take a left, and you want to end up right over here, where it says incubation ward.
He's going to stop there as he reaches about this point, looking towards this doorway, looking back over his shoulder. He clutches his head for a moment.
And in his head, he would hear that Russian mother's voice. Ivan, my little boy, you are going to do so many great things in this God-forsaken country.
Turns back, looks over at the rest of the group that have reached him. You should... I don't know what to say. If I do something strange, kill me, okay? That is probably best for you.
Well,
Okay.
I'm disturbed at how quickly you have agreed to this plan, but very good. And he's just going to follow that path.
You follow the path, you get to this like long circular corridors. There's a central little area. There's all of these little like sections that have all these different science experiments. One of them says, it's all in Russian, but one of them says hair. One of them says skin. One of them says eyes. One of them says all these different body parts that you see, all of these different little experiments. You'll see what looks like tiny bits of hair that are growing on these little petri dishes, tiny bits of skin that are growing, and all of these different little experiments that are going on. And as you get to this other doorway, you find that this doorway here is actually open. And there is signs of recent foot traffic, but you hear nothing coming from inside. But in this second section over here, you actually see what appears to be a multitude of what look like skeletons, but they're being created. They're being like pulled out of these vats of this white, very thick liquid. You can see these giant mechanisms. It looks like they're like creating like 3D printing skeletons, but they've stopped mid-production, is what you're seeing. And then up at the top, you see what looks to be like an overseer's terminal.
What is this place? Doc, can you access terminal?
Well, I can certainly try. And yeah, I'll do make whatever check you want me to make. Probably
Computers. So science, just intelligence science check. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, Red puts his back to the corner and kind of pistols half raised, kind of mouth agape at this room.
How many action points do we have
You have
left?
6 right now. You have all the action points.
I'm gonna spend 3 for 2 additional.
Okay. Difficulty on this is going to be a 5. So you might want to spend some luck
5.
to redo it. Yeah, this terminal
Yeah.
is locked down.
Okay. Yeah, I'll spend 2 points of luck to
Reroll those 2
to
failures.
reroll those 2 failures, and we'll see if we can get a crit. Here's my character sheet.
That is a crit.
5.
It's 5. So it takes you some doing. And you start thinking, you try a password, locks you out. Try another password, locks you out. And then you think to yourself, maybe it's just password. And it's the password ends up being password 123, but backwards. And that's what it is. Yeah. And as the computer terminal glows to life, you start to see all of these classic Fallout style, the green text starts to play it. It's all of these different dates going back roughly 50 years. And the projects, all of the projects are called Project Ivan. Iteration 1, 2, 5. It skips around 6, 7, 3, 4, 20. And then it ends on Project Ivan 43. 43. And all of it's just about, the biomass isn't staying alive, it's not viable, it's all of this information. But as you start to go through this, Doctor, I'd like you to describe, and I think you can kind of get an idea of what I'm getting at here. And if you need more explanation, I can, but it appears as though they were trying to create life, to create humans here. And the last one, this Ivan 43, was the one that was successful. And from behind you, as you look back, there's actually this sliding, screeching noise as this metal doorway slides open as you unlock this computer as well. You can see behind you all of these vats, these giant vats, and there's different humanoids inside in different stages of growth.
Is this that scene from Alien Resurrection?
Maybe.
Where
But in the back corner, and this middle corner, right in the center of this incubation ward, you see what appears to be the spitting image of Ivan, kind of like crouched over, as though he's a child, but it's a human, like a male adult-size Ivan, inside, mask on him, and this bubbling blue liquid as you watch him. Ivan, you don't see this yet. You're still down on the little platform, but you've gotten all this information, Doctor. I'm curious, what do you do with this?
he'll just sort of sigh heavily. That's too bad. Very quietly, almost like sorrowfully, and he'll step back, remove the Gauss rifle from his back, and destroy the computer.
There is this loud explosion as the computer in front of the doctor just erupts, and half the desk disappears, sending shards and trunks of wood and metal and computer chips onto the floor. It strikes some of the pools of this white, viscous, thick liquid flopping around, and then the door behind you, Dr. Hiram, slides shut again. You see just in Russian written incubation ward. But the door shuts, and at the same time, this doorway off to the right here of the screen slides open as well. And in Russian, it's written emergency exit. And over the comms, over the speakers, you hear this self-destruct sequence activated. 60 seconds until self-destruct.
Oh, shit.
We should probably go.
They're bluffing.
No, they certainly are not.
55. 54.
Oh, is that one go look at the bar? Just gotta get the hell out of here.
51. As the doctor runs over,
Doc's running.
you make your way to this teleportation pad. And as you all run over, I'm assuming everyone's running. Is Ivan running as well? That's my question.
Ivan is not. He's actually wandered over to the incubation doors and is staring at that labeling in Russian.
So red And so Red and the doctor ran over to this teleportation pad, but Ren, have you run as well, or are you staying behind with Ivan?
I can't move my token, so who
What?
knows?
What? Hold on.
I
He's
couldn't, I
rooted
couldn't
in
be able to
place.
select it either.
Oh, that's weird.
Destined to die.
Let me do this, and let me go over here, and let me go to Ivan. No, not Ivan. Let me go to Red. Not Red. Fucking, I'm so bad.
I can move him now.
No, boop. Okay, I got you.
You move him?
You can move.
There
him.
we
You can
go.
move.
Yep.
Okay, you move.
So I will trundle up the ramp like heavy breathing, like clearly not used to this much cardio
Yeah.
in a day.
The dog in your arms, Ivan, is pawing at the door in front of you. 43, 42, 41.
And he'll slap you along the arm, Ivan, like, come on, man, go, boom, man.
Go.
And I
Just
think
go.
and I think the doctor will come back noticing that his buddy Remy's not there, and Ivan, and he'll just call up Ivan. I can't give you the answers you're looking for if you die here.
Sonny, don't die because that dumb son of a bitch won't run.
Sonny puts his little paws up on the little like handrails, goes Arr! And then starts to run towards Red.
And Renoir will punch Ivan directly in the face.
I'm gonna leave it up to Matthew. Does that knock Ivan out, or is Ivan still conscious?
I think that knocks him out. How could it
Ivan
not?
goes blank. Ivan's longingly looking. The tiny little white dog flies out of his hand, smacks into the door, crumples to the ground with a clang, goes unconscious as well. Its tail still wagging, and that gives a Renoir a chance to pick up.
Yeah,
Ivan.
just like,
Oh.
he'll
And
just
as
trundle out
all
of
of
there.
you rush
Flushes.
towards the teleporter pad, it's big enough to have all of you on it. Even Sunny, all of you are standing on this teleporter pad, and written in Russian, it says, "To the motherland." And as the teleportation pad activates, there is this crackle of electricity and energy, and all of this like spitzing and spattering, and you feel like your very atoms are being torn apart as you are teleported. There is a crack of what sounds like thunder. And as the light, this flash of light in front of you, and as your eyes adjust to the area in front of you, you find yourselves standing in the middle of a frozen wasteland. And in front of you is a giant billboard that says, "Welcome to Siberia." And that, my friends, is where we'll end the Fallout 2d20 Waterlogged in the Bayou.
Yeah,
You're back on.
Crack, racking up.
Yeah, the Doom music starts playing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The Doom music starts playing. Oh, well, to everyone, I want to say thank you so much. That was absolutely a blast. I'm going to go ahead and roll the giveaway right now. And it looks like Artemis is the winner of our giveaway. So I'm going to have to figure out how to order you from the store over there, because Modifius does have a UK store. So I will get your information.
It's where they're located, actually.
Yep, I will get your information, and you will get a copy of the 2d20 Fallout book, which I will send to you. I'll just need the address and stuff like that. I'll get that sent off to you here. We'll get that on the side. But Kura, I do want to give a quick shout out to you for getting this set up, and to the four of my friends, the four players here. You guys, I literally had to do so little tonight, and I cannot thank you enough for being absolutely fucking hilarious. I had an absolute riot. Absolute riot.
We were glad to enable your laziness once more.
Perfect. It was perfect. That's what I need. But to everyone at home, thank you so much. Any final thoughts, questions, comments, or anything from the players before we sign off here in just a moment?
Just that it was an absolute pleasure to be here with Blau and Matthew and Hex and Wolf too, I guess. And I would just say you all are phenomenal. It's been a pleasure to watch you all work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys were adequate.
Oh, that's the most I could have ever hoped for.
That's
That's
all
high
I can
praise.
expect.
That's high praise.
Yeah.
That's about as good as it gets from Hex. Like I
Barely
speak
met
from-
expectations.
I speak
so.
from experience. I speak from experience on this. So.
Yeah.
Thanks for running, Wolf.
That was a
Yeah.
blast,
Yeah.
guys. Well,
Thanks, man.
hey, thank you all. And as I always say at the end of every stream, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to the players for playing. And happy gaming, everybody. We'll catch you next time. Cheers.
Big iron, big iron.